So those of you who are Shakespeare fans might be familiar with Hamlet. And Prince Hamlet grapples with the question to be or not to be. A lot of motorcyclists and their families grapple with similar questions, to ride or not to ride. My friend Mel, she used to be an avid motorcycle rider till she became a mum, and then she gave up riding. She said she morally could not put herself in a risky situation, and for the sake of her kids. And those concerns are not completely unfounded if you consider the statistics from the last 5 years in Western Australia. So motorcycles are only 6% of the total West Australian fleet, while motorcycle riders who are involved in road trauma constitute about 20%. I was reading a report recently from 2010. It used to be a 4% fleet back then, and the representation of road trauma of motorcycle riders used to be 25%. So things have improved. Other stats, younger, inexperienced riders are more at risk for sure. And also, males are more represented. So Lynn, you are lucky with 3 daughters because mostly men choose to drive, so that could be a bit of that. And one of the things that I would explore a bit more as well is that more than half of all crashes involving motorcycle riders, it involves motorcyclists and another vehicle. But before that, last year, as Rick mentioned in his presentation, and Ian mentioned as well about the new road safety strategy that's currently underway. And the conversations we've had with hundreds of motorcycle riders last year over a 4-month period has revealed lots and lots of great ideas. Some of them are to do with education and awareness raising around safety gear, around presence of motorcycle riders, and what are the challenges for a motorcyclist that motorcyclists faces on the road, and more enforcement was also called for as well. So a lot has been done in Western Australia over the last few years in delivering safer motorcycle riding in our state. And my favorite is the world's first hazard perception test that Steve touched on earlier. I think being a world leader in something is pretty remarkable, and it was a huge project. So yeah, and we have received a lot of Western Australia, a lot of other jurisdictions and other countries contact us and ask us about that. So there is an aspect of shared responsibility that everybody is responsible for making all road users safer. It's not about motorcyclists or about car drivers, but everyone's responsible for that. That's also the third principle of the safe system approach that we're following in Western Australia. Now, seeing beyond who is responsible and who's not, there are some biological factors that may need a bit more exploration as well. One of those things is something called unintentional blindness. So when, as I mentioned earlier, more than half of the crashes involve a motorcycle with another vehicle crashing. And when those drivers are asked questions, what happened? They say, I just did not see them. I just did not see the motorcycle rider. And they've not been lying. They actually did not see. There's a phenomenon in our brain that biologically our brain does not see what it does not look for. And what Ian said in his video about that as a community and generation, we're much more distracted, much more tired, much more inattentive. That exacerbates the situation a bit more. And I'll show you a video which will demonstrate that for you.
Sorry, mate, I didn't see you. Those words are often heard after a driver has pulled out in front of another road user. In most cases, the driver will have looked, but was fooled into thinking the road was clear because of the way our eyes and brain see things when we turn our heads.
So this is one piece of research that Road Safety Commission will soon launch, and we want to understand this better, not from a biological perspective, but from a perspective of what can be done in that space, because right now it's more about awareness raising campaigns, but we want to look at and explore whether we can go beyond that and other things can be done to close this gap, if you like. In the same vein, there's another aspect of human brain that when something attracts our attention, we focus more over it. So Austroads is running a project called Motorcycle Rider Perceptive Countermeasures project. It started this year, and it's supposed to provide its report end of this year. And they're looking at the other factor in terms of, rugged terrains and curvy, windy roads where motorcyclists are most at risk. They're looking at what cost-effective treatments can be put in place that naturally draw motorcyclists' attention and provides them with a bit of a forewarning, if you like. And I'm quite excited about those two pieces of research, and I'm hoping that next year this time, I'll have some results to show for on these two topics. Coming back to Hamlet's question to ride or not to ride, I would, as Ian said in his video as well, that now we're turning our attentions to achieving 0 deaths and serious injuries on roads. All jurisdictions in Australia and around the world who are pioneering road safety and performing impressively, they all have set their sights to 0. So in essence, from a motorcyclist perspective, we have an intention that no motorcycle rider or their families or loved ones should have to question whether to ride or not to ride. Thank you.